And I heard a nurse say that AJ wanted to see Dr. Thomas. Now, if there is a connection with Dr. Thomas and AJ, how far do you think he'll go to protect that secret?
When I count to 3, you're gonna wake up and remember Dr. Adair killed AJ, not me.
You know, I'm flattered, but if you can't keep away from my office, which I'd really prefer, I'd appreciate it if you'd knock before you enter.
I'm retracing the final hours of Rachel Adair's life. When did you last see her?
I barely knew the woman.
You knew she was dead.
Yes, and it's tragic.
And convenient, considering the fact that Rachel told me she saw you coming out of AJ's room the night he died, and I confronted you about it. So Rachel gets away with murder. And kills herself and decides to leave a confession. Less than 24 hours later, Michael, who's been traumatized for months, suddenly realizes that Rachel killed AJ. And you know, it all fits. It's almost as if somebody planned the whole thing that way.
Come in.
Dr. Thomas and Detective Beaudry, this is Officer Spencer. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Rachel Adair.
Why are you sitting there in the dark?
Well, I was wondering what you were doing out on the terrace.
I was just taking a walk in Mother's rose garden.
At night?
Well, it's very beautiful in the moonlight, and it makes me feel close to her.
You know, it's funny, Alan. All these years, other people have kept us together. Lila, our children. Now,
It's good.
Jason?
You're both here.
Sam?
Is Michael all right?
Yeah, he's fine. I need to know about the accident 10 years ago.
What about it?
We need specifics on the treatment of Jason's injury.
Well, we told you all
I
that.
think you know more. And you've been covering it up.
Talk about the accident or your recovery.
Well, I want to talk about it now.
You turned your back on our family and you rejected any effort we made toward having a relationship with you? And now out of the blue you want our help?
Stop it, Alan. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, Jason.
Okay, how much involvement did Dr. Thomas have in treating me?
Well, Tony Jones diagnosed you and he supervised all your treatments. He called in other doctors to consult, including Kevin Collins and Asher Thomas.
But they were psychiatrists. They must have been there when Jason woke up.
There was an intermediate period. Jason was comatose, but occasionally he would open his eyes. And when we saw that he wasn't completely unconscious, we called in psychiatrists to test his cognitive responses.
Okay, so Dr. Thomas was still treating Jason while he was comatose.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Where was AJ during all this? Did he know Dr. Thomas?
AJ was deeply concerned about you, Jason. We all were. We were speaking constantly to the doctors about your condition.
Do you remember AJ talking to Dr. Thomas?
Well, I'm sure he did. I don't remember anything in particular.
No meetings or private conversations, anything like that?
If you're trying to paint Dr. Thomas as a bad guy, you're wasting your time.
He is the one common thread in all of this.
And that makes him guilty of what? It's not his fault that Durant stole the tapes with all the notes he had on Michael.
Okay, you know what? Forget Dr. Thomas for a second. Okay, when Jason was in the coma after the accident, who was with him day in and day out?
Oh, the whole family. We were there with him round the clock. We would take turns.
And after that?
Well, when he didn't show any signs of recovery, we were there with him during the day, but we would go home at night. So that's why he was alone when his heart stopped. It was the middle of the night, and all of a sudden he went into code blue and almost died.
What made my heart stop?
We never knew.
The doctors, they couldn't figure it out?
Jason, the accident caused a cerebral edema, which is swelling of the brain. Now, Tony put you on medication to keep your blood pressure down to minimize the swelling. At one point, well, actually, Ned was with you. Your pressure just plummeted, and he had to take you off the medication, which made you stabilized. And then it was a week later. Actually, it was January 17th, to be exact. Your heart stopped. I mean, it was the middle of the night. It was all of a sudden, and the alarms went off, and the ICU staff revived you.
Jason was still in a coma, right?
Yeah. Well, other than opening your eyes occasionally. You weren't showing any signs of recovery. Actually, the doctors had told us that we should probably prepare for you being in a vegetative state and eventually being institutionalized.
You must have been devastated.
Yeah. We were. But you were strong. You defied all the odds, and you woke up. You not only woke up, you made a life for yourself, and I thank God every day, Jason, that those doctors were wrong.
Monica, thank you for filling in the blanks. We appreciate it.
Well, I wish I could be more helpful. If there's anything you need, you call me, okay?
Thank you.
You're wrong. Jason never woke up.
That's because you tried to kill him.